On December 7, 1939, Barbara Newhall Follett, a brilliant young author known for her prodigious talent, disappeared without a trace from her home in New Hampshire. At just 25 years old, Barbara had already made a name for herself in the literary world. Her mysterious disappearance, however, has baffled investigators and intrigued people for decades. Was she the victim of foul play, or did she simply walk away from her life? To this day, her case remains unsolved. Barbara's life was anything but ordinary. Born in 1914, she was the daughter of renowned writer and editor Robert H. Newhall and her mother, Frances, a writer as well. It's no surprise that Barbara would grow up with a passion for literature. At just 12 years old, she completed and published her first novel, A House Without Windows, a deeply philosophical and complex story for someone so young. She was heralded as a literary prodigy and compared to the likes of Virginia Woolf. The world seemed to be at her feet. The House Without Windows was met with critical acclaim, and Barbara's future seemed set. As a young girl, she had already accomplished what many authors would only dream of achieving in a lifetime. But despite this early success, Barbara's life was filled with inner turmoil. While she seemed to have the world at her feet, Barbara's personal life was far more complicated. In the late 1930s, Barbara moved to New Hampshire, where she lived with her second husband, John Ella Sweeney, a man she had married only recently. The couple had a young daughter, and Barbara's life appeared to be settling into a more domestic routine. But behind closed doors, Barbara struggled. Her marriage to Sweeney was strained, and she had ongoing emotional and psychological struggles. Despite her public success, privately, Barbara was not in a good place. Barbara's emotional state had been fragile for some time. She had experienced tension with her family, especially with her parents, and had already endured the loss of her father. She was known to be sensitive, and some reports suggest she struggled with depression, especially as she got older. Though she had an impressive literary career ahead of her, Barbara's personal struggles only seemed to intensify. On the night of December 7, 1939, Barbara left her home in the middle of the night. Her husband, John Sweeney, later reported that she had argued with him before leaving. The next morning, when Barbara didn't return, he called the police. Authorities immediately began a search for the young woman, but no trace of her was found. Barbara's disappearance sparked a widespread search across the woods near her home in New Hampshire. But no clues were uncovered. Despite extensive searches, there were no signs of Barbara's whereabouts. No footprints, no clothing, no evidence of her having traveled anywhere, just the haunting emptiness of the New Hampshire landscape. The search efforts continued for weeks, but there was still no sign of Barbara. Investigators speculated that she had wandered off into the woods, perhaps in a distressed mental state. But no evidence has ever been found to explain her disappearance. Theories began to emerge about what might have happened to her, but no theory has ever been definitively proven. Over the years, several theories have been proposed regarding Barbara's disappearance. Let's look at some of the most notable. Theory 1, voluntary disappearance. One theory suggests that Barbara may have simply chosen to walk away from her life. After years of emotional turmoil and the pressures of her literary success, she might have been overwhelmed. Perhaps she sought a new life, away from the expectations that had been placed on her. Theory 2, foul play. Another theory is that Barbara may have been the victim of foul play. Some suggest that there may have been something darker involved in her disappearance, including the possibility of her husband, John Sweeney, being involved. Though there's no evidence to support this, the fact that she left after a heated argument has led some to question whether he may have played a role. Theory 3, suicide. A more tragic theory is that Barbara took her own life. Given her ongoing mental health struggles, some believe that she could have been in such despair that she decided to end it all. However, there is no body or evidence to support this theory either. Barbara Newhall Follett's disappearance has never been solved. Was she simply lost to time, or did something more tragic occur? The literary world lost a prodigy, and her family lost a daughter and a wife. Though the case remains open, the mystery of Barbara's fate still haunts those who knew her and those who are captivated by her story. What do you think happened to Barbara Newhall Follett? Was her disappearance voluntary, or was there something darker at play? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Join the conversation and help keep Barbara's story alive. Thank you for watching.